I mean, did you see the game, Travis? I was going off.
Okay. Well, CLG, after a couple weeks of struggling, has now had a clean sweep. I'm joined right now in Week 7 by Biofrost with coverage presented by OmniSlash. Talk a little bit about their weekend. So, Biofrost, what changed? You know, Nick Allen did this big AMA. There's all this drama. You guys are like, yeah, we're going to fix it. And then, boom, you somehow fix it.
Maybe we're just a little bit lucky. But it was kind of like a do-or-die situation. If we don't win all of our games now, then there's actually 0% chance that we make it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Even now, it's like it kind of requires multiple teams to kind of start losing. So we don't really have a 100%. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And so do you think it was luck or, I mean, one thing I have noticed, by the way, is that this patch hit and then a lot of teams that have been losing have been winning and, you know, that we've seen several upsets. Do you think that has shifted the balance of power?
Well, the patch definitely changed some of the picks, but for the most part, we're still kind of playing similar things.
Yeah.
We kind of just shifted to more of one style and kind of changed our communication structure because after we did lose multiple weeks, we're like, we need to kind of really change some stuff up. So we're like, why not do it now? Because there's a couple weeks left. We might as well experiment if there's only a couple weeks left and there's not a big chance that we make it to playoffs. So we do want to win all of our games, even though there's a chance that we don't make it.
Yeah. And with one thing that I talked to Tony about yesterday was that you are now the shot caller. You're the main shot caller.
Yeah. Sounds a little weird. We're going to just try it this weekend, see if I could do it. Because a lot of times when you play in scrims and you shot call, it's a lot easier than on stage because there's a lot more added pressure. I'm still getting used to it because it's only been 2 games on stage. I think the more games that you have on stage is more impactful. So if it was like best of 3s, then I'd be getting a lot of experience. You definitely learn things the hard way when you mess it up on stage and you learn so much faster. So it's been a learning experience. I mean, I'm glad that I'm getting the opportunity to kind of learn how to shot call because people are like, oh yeah, Biofrost, he doesn't communicate. I'm like, come on.
So let me ask you a direct question then. You said you're still getting kind of used to it. Were you actively shot calling like you do in scrims on stage this weekend, or were you still kind of like warming up to it and maybe not as active as you have been?
I mean, did you see the game, Travis? I was going off.
Okay. Okay.
Well, okay. It was very similar. I think it was a lot easier because we were so far ahead.
Yeah.
The harder games to shot call is definitely when you're really far behind. You're like, what do we do from here? Because any decision can really cost your game, the game for your team. And everyone was just really on top of it today, so it was really easy to just play the game and execute whatever plan we had.
I agree. I find that when I ace the team, it's a lot more confident when I say go to Baron than whatever the 4 of them are up, and I'm like, go to Baron.
What an amazing shot caller. He called Baron there?
Yeah. It's like, Baron. Nexus. So that sounds like the plan right now. All right, so it sounds like you're happy with that. That sounds kind of fun for you.
Yeah, it's fun when you're winning. I mean, if we lost these 2 games, I'd be like, I hate this role. I'm never going to play it again, or I'm never going to do it again. But it's been going well. We still have 4 more games to go.
How did the shot calling thing come about? Were you just, because I heard it was out of a meeting, and I like the idea that you just stand up in the meeting and you're like, listen, I'm taking control of this situation. You guys are all shitters. It's me now. I'm going to tell you, you guys are just my bots. I'm micromanaging you from here on out.
Do I seem like a person that does that? No.
Yeah, very much so. I've seen the aggression that hides behind those eyes, Vincent.
You know, before we had this system where we kind of had like people doing certain roles and we found that wasn't working out. Yeah. And I think it was really hard for Huhi. Like people were really unfair to him, like saying that he was doing a bad job because it wasn't really his fault. It was just that the system that we had in place was just very ineffective for doing what we wanted. And we decided that having a 1-person system would work better. And it just makes things, I guess, more simpler. It doesn't have to be necessarily better. It's just simpler. So I guess it results in it being better. And yeah, it's been working well.
Yeah. Last time you faced Team Liquid, I interviewed Doublelift because you guys lost. Yeah. And I said to Doublelift, what did you think of Biofrost, or facing off against Biofrost? He said he played like a passive bitch. They were all so passive.
Why is Peter always so mean to me? I've never done anything wrong to him.
So what do you now you beat him, and I feel like, by the way, you guys had control of that game the entire time. Yeah. So how do you feel Peter played? What was it like facing off against him?
Well, I think Peter knows, so I'm not gonna say anything. I mean, people could just watch the game and be like, "Huh, okay."
Yeah.
I don't need to say anything.
Yeah. What do you think he knows?
I'm gonna be the better person here. I'm just not gonna say
okay.
anything. No.
But that's not the better person for me, Vincent. All right,
I just want the juicy headlines.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an independent media personality. Okay, I live and die by the views now.
I'm not gonna give you any of that juicy lines. You can use something else.
What should I use from this interview so far?
I'm not sure. Did I even say anything substantial in this?
No, that's the point. Like, you got to give me something. People will actually. By the way, this is the problem. I now make these jokes. People will actually believe this, and then in some other Reddit thread, they'll be like, "Remember Travis? He's just fishing for the clickbait headlines. He's just a joke of a journalist." I don't care, but I'd rather you shit talk Peter just because I like it when people shit talk Peter. It's very funny, but it's okay if you don't want to.
I mean, he was a little bit passive.
Okay. There we go. There's the headline I've been looking for. Finally. All right. Trying to think if there's anything else here. Yeah, thoughts on the patch?
There's definitely a lot more aggressive junglers because there's less wards, so people have more gank timings. And usually when you have tempo on your jungler, instead of using that to ward, people just gank now. So that results in more bloodier games, and that's obviously great for the viewers because no one really wants to watch a 50-minute snooze fest. And then on top of that, they have banner now, so it's even like elevated where it's like, oh, if they get banner and they get banner, then there's like this mini game where people try to get the mini dematerializers and try to get it, and then you're like, wait, let's just kill this guy. He's running up and trying to get the cannon.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that mini game going on too.
Yeah. Do you like that mini game or is it annoying?
I mean, yesterday against Cloud9, it was funny because we had that back and forth. Like, they got Baron, and we're like, okay, let's use the Talia wall and try to get the cannon mini and dematerialize it. And then when we got Baron, Smoothie was like trying to kill the cannon. We're like, wait, just kill this guy. Yeah. So yeah, that's going on too.
All right. Anything that you would say to any of the fans? Because they're probably much happier this week than they have been lately.
Yeah, like after you receive weeks of abuse and then you finally get like a breath of fresh air, you're like, oh, that feels good. But we just have to keep playing well so that fans will be happy. And even then, if we don't make it to playoffs, then people won't be happy. But we just want to make sure that regardless, we just try to win.
Thank you so much, Biofrost, for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports here on my YouTube channel. Hey guys, it's me, Travis Gafford. You may know me from the interview that you just watched to the end so that you're seeing the outro now. Wanted to give you a heads up that if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you're actually a better human being. And by the way, thank you so much to OmniSlash for making this all possible.